Ooh, man. Let's see if everything's working all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me tell everybody gets in here. Bruh. What up, guys? Bruh. What's up, Bolthead? Let me fix this in here. Let's see. Okay. How you doing, fuck the police? As y'all know, this is an open discussion. Feel free to join along. If y'all did not see the link, let me see if I can pin it. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. We top level now. Look at that. We pinning links. Look at that, homie. So yeah, guys, we're going to be talking about two situations. One is the Derek Chauvin case trial. Yeah, about that screwball Chavez. And the second one is about Micaiah Bryant, okay? About that whole situation. If y'all haven't seen it, again, we're going to go over that today. But again, as we always do, if you guys are unaware about the open discussions, this is where we go ahead and have a nice talk, a nice, not a debate, discussion, as said, right? If you disagree with something, that's fine, but we should all be able to come along and talk it out, right? Again, if we all agreed with everything, it'd be a boring place. So therefore, I'm hoping people will come in, listen, watch the video, come up with an opinion, and be able to discuss about what happened and how they think things should be carried out further on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start things off with the Derek Chauvin. Let me get this set up here. Now, I always mess up, guys. On the first time I'm always doing this. So, guys, if you fail to hear what's going on screen, just let me know and I'll fix it. Let me see. Share screen. I always mess up on this. I swear to God. Watch me mess it up again. All right. Let me know if y'all can hear it. That's a test. If y'all can't hear it, I got to fix it. What's up, Charlie Dog? Here we go. If you're able to hear that test audio, I'm going to do it again. It's good? Good. We'll let this play out. If it's too loud, let me know.
And it's great to have you with us here at a Wednesday night. We have a lot to get to tonight. And just 24 hours after that verdict in Minneapolis, former police officer Derek Chauvin found guilty on all charges in the death of George Floyd. Tonight, the Department of Justice now announcing a sweeping investigation into the practices of the Minneapolis Police Department. And tonight here, two new cases involving police now in the news. A little more than 24 hours ago, Derek Chauvin handcuffed and taken to a maximum security prison about 20 minutes from that Minneapolis courtroom. The mugshot taken at the prison where he is now being held in solitary confinement tonight to keep him from the rest of the prison population. After the verdict, the images, the relief in Minneapolis and the peaceful marchers in that city, in the streets of Atlanta as well, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to the images from Brooklyn right here in New York. And this evening, what we're now learning about this sweeping new federal investigation into the Minneapolis department. ABC's Alex Perez leading us off from Minneapolis again tonight.
Tonight, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is inmate 261557 at Minnesota's only maximum security prison, spending 23 hours a day in a stark cell like this one, isolated from his fellow prisoners for his own safety in what's called administrative segregation. Chauvin, the rare police officer tried and convicted for killing someone while on duty.
Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff.
Chauvin handcuffed and led away. The Justice Department now weighing whether to bring federal civil rights charges against him. And today, Attorney General Merrick Garland putting the entire Minneapolis Police Department under the microscope.
The Justice Department has opened a civil investigation to determine whether the Minneapolis Police Department engages in a pattern or practice of unconstitutional or unlawful policing.
The probe will assess whether the department engages in discriminatory conduct.
It will include a comprehensive review of the Minneapolis Police Department's policies, training, supervision, and use of force investigations.
Swear or affirm.
Minneapolis Police Chief Medaria Arredondo testified Chauvin's actions in no way, shape, or form reflect departmental policy.
It's not part of our training, and it is certainly not part of our ethics or our values.
The chief now welcoming the federal investigation. And tonight, for so many, the verdict is cause for hope. Among them, 9-year-old Judea Reynolds, who witnessed Floyd's murder and testified she told Chauvin to get off of him. Prosecutors saying the crime was so clear a child could see it. Judea speaking to our Robin Roberts.
And what was everybody saying when they heard that the former police officer had been found guilty? What were people saying around you?
My mom said that we brought change. My dad said we won.
What were you thinking and feeling?
Kind of proud.
That young witness talking with Robin this morning, and Alex Perez joins us from Minneapolis again tonight. Alex, we know that Derek Chauvin will be sentenced in about 8 weeks. Meantime, the 3 other officers involved in the death of George Floyd, we know scheduled to go on trial in August, but what could this guilty verdict on all charges for Chauvin mean, if anything, for the other officers?
Yeah, David, all 3 of them are charged as accomplices with aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. Now, given yesterday's guilty verdict, it remains unclear if they would try to strike a plea deal to avoid going to trial altogether. David?
All right, Alex Perez leading us off again tonight. Alex, thank you.
Ooh. Okay, they're pretty loud. So those of y'all who already saw that, that was the Derek Chauvin trial. Me personally, I don't see any of this as a win because, again, someone had to die in order for it to, take place. A life is lost. So I never really celebrate these. I just see it as a way for, situations to be taken to court, and for in the future, things need to be reevaluated. And I was watching the trial going on, and I would say that during the whole time, there was some pretty good evidence that they presented as to people saying George Floyd was on drugs, and he admitted he was on drugs, but they said that was the cause of his death, which the evidence shown or that was presented said that the amount of drugs in his system were under the threshold of a simple DUI, right? Here we go. We got a guess here. What up, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
Oh,
I just wanted to know this. Are we supposed to feel bad for him now that he's in solitary confinement?
No, that's subjective. Your feelings are subjective. That's completely up to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to feel bad for him, that's up to them. I think the legal system is the way it is, and I'm just saying when I say there's no real winning in this situation, is because someone had to die.
Right. There's no bringing him back, but I'm definitely not feeling bad for him. And do you think he's going to appeal it?
I think he is. I really think he is. I think the main reason why he's going to appeal it is because Maxine Waters. All right? Because Maxine Waters, as much as she likes to open her mouth, sometimes she needs to keep it closed. And
do you think that could cause a mistrial?
There's a possibility of a mistrial. So anytime there's a possibility, I'd have to say I mean, it's a possibility. You know, like I don't think it will be a mistrial. It's just a possibility. What's up, Gas? There's a possibility.
Oh, sorry.
I'd have to say he's gonna fix his value, but you get what I mean. I don't really have any
Oh my gosh, my bad. I'm sorry. Let me get out of here real quick.
But you get what I mean. I don't really have any. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this for you. He's gonna fix his stuff real quick. But no, I don't show any sympathy for most of the trials that go on because again, I have no control over it. I wasn't the jury, you know. There's a song out there that says, "I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6," which means you're going to leave your life in the hands of a jury. And sorry, I've been drinking a lot of soda. But I don't think there's anybody who needs to show sympathy for what happened in this situation. It just needs to be addressed. This is what happened, and this could be a new turn for citizens to be keeping cops accountable. Rather you think it's a murder, rather you think it was. Hold on, guess I'm about to unmute you.
I think you're repeating.
Repeat that. Unmute yourself.
I think there's a feedback or something because, but both of us were muted.
No. Fuck the police muted himself.
Yeah, I muted myself.
Yeah.
I'm back.
I guess
I had to go get my charger here. How do you feel about them calling in?
Is anyone else hearing the feedback?
No, I'm not hearing any feedback.
I don't hear any feedback. Does anybody else in the chat? And he's gone. I'm just saying, how do you feel about the DOJ coming in? Do you feel like that's going to help us, or how about this? If they come up that there was no findings of racial profiling or otherwise, I'm sorry, they called it civil rights violation violators. Do you think that that's going to help us or the community? Or if they come back and say, we found it to be non-founded, we find nothing wrong, are we going to run into another situation like that?
I don't really think we'll run into that situation because, again, like I said, like the most that they can do is appeal it, and then it'll be up to whatever the system agrees. And I really think in this situation, it's a lose-lose for Derek Chauvin because one, he's already been convicted, right? There's no going back on that. He can no longer be an officer, right? That's done. It's kaput. If they appeal it and say they lower his time, I mean, he's still looking up 3 serious charges at that, So will he do some time? I don't care at this point. He's already been convicted.
I just have a question though.
Yeah.
When is George Floyd going to be held responsible for his own actions?
I mean, he's already dead. There's nothing really we can hold him accountable.
Well, what I mean is, like, when is he responsible for what happened to him? I'm not saying that people should be dying in police custody. I'm saying we should.
That what he did
so many,
warrant death?
We have so many more examples of police officers blatantly killing people for little to no reason with nothing in their hands. But we got to go and praise this guy as a hero for just simply dying. I don't understand.
I don't think anyone's praised him as a hero. I think the thing is that,
I mean, he's definitely a martyr. Like people want to.
I think they're calling him a martyr, but I'm not sure why you're doing that or saying that. So I'd like to know more about that. I'd like to hear more about that.
Well, our whole goal, certainly in the audit community, is police accountability. I don't know. I see too much mob rule going on here. We want this to be a fair thing. I don't think Derek Chauvin held his knee on his back for so long that it killed him. I think that the guy overdosed for the 5th time, and this time it killed him. It's like the fact that a person died in custody, I get that. That's not okay. That's not okay. But then the news thing that we just saw was like the witness saw them, and he asked them to get off of Derek Chauvin, Derek Chauvin. They asked Derek Chauvin to get off of George Floyd. It's like he's a citizen. He's a guy looking. He ain't got nothing to say about what's going on. They actually created the situation to be worse because the medics couldn't come in because they were being really rowdy and getting all up in business that they had nothing to do with. So I want more responsibility for everyone, accountability for everyone. The crowd should be held accountable for creating a dangerous situation. Derek Chauvin should be held accountable
What
for...
did the crowd do wrong? Did you watch the trial?
I did. I watched the whole thing. I watched the parts that the jury didn't get to see.
Hold on. That's a physical impossibility, and I'm saying you're lying.
I've watched the whole...
That's impossible that you can
thing.
sit
I got a lot of time.
Boring of... That's impossible, dude. I'm telling you, it's a physical impossibility that you were there every time that judge took the bench. Now admit it.
I think he's frozen. So I'm just going to say this here. It's not our responsibility to decide rather if it's an overdose or rather if it was a knee on the neck. A jury has decided. Jury has decided. It is what it is. You get what I mean? So rather you believe it was an overdose or rather you believe it was a knee on the neck, doesn't matter. The jury has decided. He's going to come back in a minute.
Correct. I agree with that.
Right? So we can argue all day, should we hold the crowd accountable? Accountable for what? Okay? We should hold George Floyd accountable. Accountable for what? We should hold Derek Chauvin accountable. He's been held accountable just now. Now he's going to go through appeal. We're going to see if there's going to be even more that, either we're going to be outraged or praised about, right? It's just how the world is. And it didn't matter what situation was going to happen because, again, whether he was found guilty or innocent, whether he was found guilty or innocent, people would have had an issue with it regardless, right? 30%, I leave this example going out in the world, right? No matter what decision you make, even if you're saving puppies for a living, right? Something innocent, at least 1/3 of the world will say you're an asshole for it. Okay? It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter the jury. It doesn't matter their decision. It doesn't matter what happens. 1/3 of the world is going to think it was the wrong decision. Okay? And whether you agree with me or not, it doesn't matter. Because again, in the long run, the fact is he's been found convicted of 2nd-degree murder, right? And also, I believe manslaughter was in that with what was the third one? I couldn't think of it.
I'm actually trying to remember now.
Yeah.
Do you think they should have charged him with 1st-degree premeditated?
No. I think the reason why they went with 2nd-degree is because they wanted the charge to stick.
Premeditated would mean that he was out looking for people to kill. That's ridiculous.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to mute myself. You two have a conversation real quick. I got something going on in the background here.
I think the part that we're trying to get from all this here is that we're supposed to get the right outcome, the most just outcome. Did Derek Chauvin actually kill this man? Is he actually responsible for his death? And, I wasn't on the jury. And unfortunately, through the way our justice system works, the jury gets to say what goes. I don't think it was the right decision because of all the expedient factors in the aftermath, and all the fear involved with getting anything but the maximum of what he could get. And we could string this guy up on the light post and rip him limb from limb. They will not be satisfied, and we don't need to be satisfying these people who are out there burning the cities down. That's not justice. That's not law and order. That's chaos.
Okay, so who can you say that's been burning the cities down?
BLM and Antifa and just about anybody else who is
so
upset.
The person that burnt something down, did they have a BLM shirt on?
It don't matter. We know for sure that the people burning cities down, burning down Capitol buildings, burning down businesses are BLM and Antifa, who openly, on constant basis, admit to doing it and say they do it. Murder people. What was that? Brett Kavanaugh? No, not Kavanaugh. What was the kid who defended himself against those the people trying to kill him?
Okay, give me a name. I need a name.
A name?
I'm saying just prove the accusations that you're leveling against.
So who's out there burning the cities down?
Yes, that's what I need to know.
That's what I mean. Is who do you think? Who do you think is burning the cities down?
Who can I? Well, anyone with a can full of gas and a match. But
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you think those people are?
BLM. That don't mean it's Antifa. That don't mean it's nobody. That's
so all those buildings with the burned down with the BLM all over them and the Antifa symbols. That's not BLM and Antifa doing it.
Can you prove it? Who's been charged?
I don't have. It's there. You disprove that it's not them. Like prove to me that it's not BLM graffitiing all those buildings.
I don't have to prove it. That's not my job to prove it.
So those buildings don't have BLM and Antifa all over them. They didn't loot the obvious places like shoe stores and those kind of places. That's not all like a thing that happens with Antifa and BLM.
No, I don't believe so.
You don't think they're out there looting buildings and burning down their own cities?
I've been online where shootings occur and everybody says, "Hey, I'm going to go out here," but never have I seen someone wearing a BLM lighting something on fire. Ever. Have not seen it.
So it's a big conspiracy. That's all white people out there putting out BLM and Antifa to make it look like it's BLM.
I need you to back up.
Well,
I need you to back up your facts. That's all I'm saying.
Well, prove to me it's not BLM. I mean, the proof I have is that the buildings are graffitied all over with BLM, that they are out there in the streets screaming BLM and burning, looting, and murdering. I mean, where are you getting
All right. I am back. All right. So before we continue, I just want to make sure, where are we at right now? Because it sounds like we just segued off of George Floyd.
I'm just we were talking about accountability and how the people burning the cities down should not be rewarded for their bad behavior. They should be punished. People out there destroying property need to spend a good amount of time, appropriate amount of time in jail for doing it, and reparations for destroying property. It's like the people we should be holding accountable is everyone, not just police. Like, we should be holding ourselves accountable. We should be holding our politicians accountable, and we should be holding people who do bad things accountable. Let's say our end goal, we want for the society to work. And the reason for that is because there are people out there who are incapable of protecting themselves. The disabled, the elderly, the young, they all need protection. And we need to sacrifice a little bit of our voluntary, right? Like, having an ID is voluntarily giving up your rights to individuality and, to privacy, essentially. You have to give up things like having to call the police after an incident to make sure that it's reported. Law and order is what we want, guys. Law and order is what keeps people who can't protect themselves safe. And hedonism is a bad thing. Hedonism is what leads to places like Africa having never been able to establish itself because all they do is hedonism, or excuse me, they try and then the hedonism wins, kind of thing. But we can't let hedonism win. We can't let mobs rule justice, because that's not justice. It's not justice at all. That's chaos. It's sad. But back to Derek Chauvin, though, or what was the other one?
It was Derek Chauvin that we're talking about.
It was Derek Chauvin. Yeah, certainly. I was definitely surprised at his calm demeanor when he was sentenced, because I was surprised at the.
To be honest, that calm demeanor right there of him being handcuffed, there was like zero reaction to his
kinda
verdict.
He had red face and red hands. He was definitely emotional, but
I think this was his reaction here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was about the same as mine. I was pretty shocked. I was pretty I wouldn't say upset, but it was pretty disappointing, that's for sure. Should have gotten something, just not the book, It's like, I know a few people who need the book, but don't get it.
Langley, you're not happy with our guest. Langley, if you want, so we do these open discussions, right?
I guess I should be paying attention to the comments.
And the thing is, I bring in people, or allow people to actually join with their opposing opinions and opposing views. And I'm a non-judgmental person. Whether you hate me or love me, I'm willing to listen to your opinion. It doesn't mean I have to agree with you. Me and Gas, we know each other. He knows I don't agree with half the things he says. So I already know, and there's no reason for Gas to agree with everything that I say. But again, it's a matter of respect between each other as individuals. Granted, you don't like his opinion, but in general, what wrong has he done to you? What wrong has he done to you as an individual? So, lying is not okay, Jason. Again, these are opinions. These are discussions. These are opinions, and I really want you guys to allow yourself to join the conversation. All right, join the conversation. If you have an issue, please join the conversation. Have a discussion. Explain your reasons as why you believe Gas is wrong. Or explain as to why you believe Chauvin deserves what he got. Share your reasons as to why you believe the crowd did not deserve, any scrutiny. And to me personally, I don't believe the crowd deserved any scrutiny. Right? I believe that Derek Chauvin. Check my email. I'll check it later in a few. I believe that Derek Chauvin did get what was given to him because that's what the jury decided. And to me, honestly, I think the fact that sorry, I'm trying to read chat and censor people and do everything else.
Cool. I wonder, how do you feel about this solution here? Because I'm really down with it, right? The problem with this particular incident in this deliberation is every time a white cop does anything, it doesn't matter. If it's a black guy, they just use the racist term, no matter what it is. And no, not every single incident is racist. Hell, maybe even 1%. I wouldn't even say it's some. Like, we're talking about just regular folk here who just want to do their job and go home, alive, kind of thing. And I'd rather the police officer go home alive as opposed to a criminal. And that's just how that works. It's so now that we've got that, this is my solution. Well, not mine. It's not my idea. I got it from Good Luck America. How about we just not let white people respond when black people are involved? If it's such a problem, I say we just don't allow white people to respond to an incident involving black people. What do you think of that?
I think that'll lead to a lot of problems regardless. I really think
they won't be able to. They won't be allowed to use their race card. That's why it's going to be a problem.
I think a lot of people would realize that it doesn't matter which cop arrives. You know,
right.
It depends on how they do their performance. Which we're going to get into that type of situation later, I guess. So,
but we really can't say that it doesn't matter about skin because that's what the media cares about. Media cares if the guy's white.
Yes, I'll get into that on the next topic.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that on the next topic because that actually is going to segue into the other situation. We'll talk about that later. Okay.
I might get a call here pretty soon, so I might not be here long.
No worries, brother. But in this whole situation, the Derek Chauvin, I already knew. Like I said, 30% of the world is not going to like the situation. Okay, minimum, right? And when it came to Chauvin, I think the verdict, in my opinion, was the right verdict. Right? I don't think everything's going to stick because he's going to appeal it. He's going to say that there was influence from Maxine Waters because they already mentioned that during the trial. Rather, the jury did not look at any social media or their phones or whatever during the trial because, again, it's a huge situation. It was something that was, deemed to be very controversial. Okay? So rather he is, appeals it or not, if he gets away with it, I mean, again, he's already been convicted. There's nothing much we can do about it. And I'm happy with the judgment so far. If anything happens after that, it's out of our hands. Everything is out of our hands. There's nothing we can do. And it's kind of that saying where we say, the police aren't here to help you. Well, the judgment is not here to help him. It's here to lay out what they believe is a reasonable punishment to your crimes that you've been convicted of. James DePassy was a bad cop before this. And Priceless Channel, I'm going to answer your question as to what my name means, okay? It has two different meanings. 3 different meanings if y'all really want to think about it.
Well, I got that phone call. Got to be going.
All right, cool.
Well, dang, I had something before I got the call. 1 second.
So, guys, I think right now we're pretty much set on the Derek Chauvin trial. I think Fuck the Police left. I think he was doing some shopping or something. I'm not sure. I saw him parking into a shop at one point. I hear my child over there screaming in the background. 5 to 10 years. If you think he's only going to get 5 to 10 years for those 3 charges, I mean, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. And I just want to go ahead and reiterate here. The preface of this open discussion is not to agree with everything. Some people will be offended. Some people will hate others' opinions. And you know what? That's just America. That's just how we are. We all don't agree with everything. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and go to the next subject. I'm going to bring this up. All right.
That'll be my cue to go. Oh, and that's somebody asked what that is on my head. It's just one of my headdresses. But I'm going to head out, guys.
You going to head out? All right.
Have a good one, guys.
Talk to you later, man. So the next situation, which if Gaz stayed around, we would have segued into the Ma'Khia Bryant situation. And like you said here, Apache, I really don't think he wanted to kill him, but again, there were several opportunities for him to alleviate the possibility of him being accused of killing him, right? There was the hobble technique that the other officer said, hey, do you want to hobble him? Put him on his side, which means he won't be on his chest. There won't be a lot of pressure on his chest, meaning, he could breathe further. There was a situation that he was at the exhaust of the car. Was he breathing in carbon monoxide? a 9-year-old that they mentioned said, hey, he's not breathing. Get off of him. Get off of him. And he ignored that. He ignored several opportunities to change the narrative of the story, right? To where he could have, possibly got away with it if at one point in time he changed the narrative of the story by getting off of his neck, shoulder, whatever you want to call it, but by getting off of him and putting him on his side, which literally doesn't take that much time. Or even if he administered, some type of procedure to keep him alive. But yeah, Priceless Channel, let me go ahead and answer that question. So my name, GTAG UPOS, one either stands for gamer tag UPOS, either GTAG, you piece of shit, or guaranteed to achieve greatness, unique person of success. So hit me on Xbox. There you go. GTAG. Nope, sorry, not GTAG, but just UPOS. I'm an OG. Let me put this up here. If you guys haven't seen the Ma'Khia Bryant situation, viewer discretion is advised. If you guys aren't aware, this is the second body cam footage here.
Shots fired. 200 shots fired.
201 ready. You can shut down the 3. We're going to have enough cars here. Shut down the 3.
Copy, Erin. Shut down the 3. Shut down the 10-3.
Just want to let you know the agent at Richmond northbound. And south here, just close it off right there. I'm not sure the next cross street north of our location here.
Legion, I just shut down. Tell me who's there.
What happened? She's been shot.
I don't know where though.
Are you sorry?
Legion, please.
Brian, call us. There's a out there.
Oh, okay. 149. All right.
204, we'll take it.
So that was the second footage there. Let me see if I can find the original one, which shows the garage footage here. Now, Paul Jackson, I want you to hold off on that decision, saying that it was bad training or if it was a trigger-happy cop. Okay, as you'll see, this whole situation here, right? This is actually her right here. This is Ma'Khia. This is a girl here who is pushed down to the ground, and here's another person who was attacked. Before we say this is cowardice, before we even say this is cowardice, and let me go ahead and tell you guys, you're allowed to join in here if you disagree with me, or even if you do agree with me. You're allowed to go ahead and voice your opinion because this is America. This is what we do. We discuss it. This is Ma'Khia in the back, behind the car. Here's the lady that they pushed down. Less than 9 seconds, this man had to react.
Hey, what's going on? Hey!
Knocked her down.
Get down! Get down!
Kicked her in the back of the head.
Get down!
Knife in hand. Victim, potential victim, right here in pink. Again, was not attacking her. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That was police body cam video of the moments before a Columbus, Ohio police officer shot and killed 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant. She appears to be attacking 2 other girls with a knife. And now her neighbor is sharing this dramatic footage of that exact same moment from his standpoint, the garage across the street. Watch. Joining me now in a Faulkner Focus exclusive, that neighbor, Donovan Brinson. Donovan, thanks for being with us as a first-person witness. I want to start with the perspective that you have from your garage and what you say that this video shows.
Well, I didn't witness it directly myself first. I didn't witness it until after I viewed the video on my garage. My house is across the street, catty-cornered from the house where the incident actually happened.
I know from reading the New York Post, because that was your first interview, this is your first television interview, that there might have been an altercation or some words that were spoken right before this. Do you know anything about that? Did you see or hear anything before this? Because that's the part of the story that we don't have fully.
Well, so me and my wife were coming home from having a late lunch, and there was a young lady in pink and then another young lady out front exchanging words. We didn't think too much about it, but they were very, very loud. You could tell they were upset about something. Didn't take note of what they were arguing about, so I had no idea. We went inside our house, then went out to the backyard to play with our dog. I realized I forgot something out in the car and ran out to the car and grabbed it. And as I did that, one of the girls locked another girl out of the house, and then they said something about, "How dare you lock me out of my mama's house? This is my house too." And I just kind of thought, this is going to die down. They'll unlock the door, they'll figure it out, and it'll be done and over with. Well, I went back inside, and about 5 minutes later, me and my wife decided to come inside the house, and that's when you heard the shots. My wife got down on the ground, and because there was no retaliation shots fired, I figured that was a cop out there. So I went to my laundry room and took a look outside, and that's when I saw Mikhail on the ground and everyone else kind of in a chaos, unfortunately, because it literally just happened. I didn't think anything about my garage footage until after more officers arrived and taped off the scene, and was trying to resuscitate her. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I've got this on film. Let me go check my computer. So I told an officer on scene, I think I have this on film. He asked me to go check, which I did. And sure enough, I went ahead and downloaded it and burned it to a DVD for the cops on scene.
What in your interpretation, and again, this is just from your vantage point, you have part of the story we didn't have before, and that was some of the lead up to this, what you and your wife had heard and had witnessed on your own was an altercation. You thought it would die down. It did not. You're watching that police officer. We've had a lot of people guess at what might have been his choices. 9 seconds he had to deal with a volatile situation. What in your interpretation were his choices in that moment?
Not much. He only, like you said, he only had seconds to respond. From my point of view, watching this, unfortunately, the whole scenario put him in a bad spot, regardless of what the situation was. He could have either not fired, and the young lady in pink could have got stabbed in the neck and been brutally or fatally injured, and then responded and shot, and that would have been 2 young ladies possibly dead. Or he could have responded the way that he did, and unfortunately, one lady lost her life in an incident that probably could have been avoided.
Wow. I know one of the things you have said is that the video doesn't lie. Real quickly before I let you go, what does that mean?
It shows he literally got out of his vehicle and had seconds to respond. So the video doesn't lie. I mean, there was an altercation. He responded. He reacted with what he thought was his best judgment. Whether that means he tried and go for the leg, which I don't think he had time to take aim and go for a leg, to be honest. So he did what he thought was best.
Donovan Brinson captured footage of the shooting of Ma'Khia Bryant on his above garage door camera, which you shared with me, Donovan, is triggered by.
Okay, I'm gonna put this back off. We already seen information. You're definitely welcome to send me that. Again, if you have my email, you can always send it my way. But if you have any, the link is right there. You can join in, discuss it. We can talk about it. How do you think this should have been handled differently? Again, in my situation, from my opinion on this situation here, unfortunately, there wasn't enough time to think of the second option. I don't know what else he could have done. What up, fuck the police? Welcome back. Again, you're welcome to join if you haven't seen the video just now, the Micaiah Bryant. "100% justified." I mean, that's what I say. I say it's justified because a lot of people are saying he could have shot the leg, he could have shot the hand, he should have shot the knife out of her hand, he should have grabbed the knife, he should have tackled her, he should have tasered her, he should have pepper sprayed her, he should have, done such and such and such, the thing is that pepper spray isn't immediately reacting. Tasers don't always drop somebody. All right, there could always be that little bit of a, portion where you're getting tased and you can still move before it all starts to hit your body. Shooting the knife, shooting the hand, shooting the legs. Those are small targets. Police aren't trained to shoot small targets, right? And I tell people all the time, if you ever go to the gun range with me, I'm gonna tell you to shoot center mass all the time. I'm not going to tell you to try and shoot foot, try and shoot a hand. So those are small targets. You can miss your target. Hey, little poor dirt farmer. Again, I don't think in this situation there was much more that he could have done, and I really think the situation boils down to is the fact that the girl with the knife did call the cops for help, but the situation is that in doing so, she made a unwise decision to attack the people outside the house in front of the cops with a deadly weapon. So if she was defending herself, that's good, but unfortunately she did it at a horrible time. A horrible time to where it then became an assault against someone else. Because that's what I see. And to me, personally, if we're going to try and make this a racial issue, we're just making every other racial issue a legitimate racial issue. That argument that much weaker. But that's just my opinion. If you have any other opinion on it, let me know. Again, you can join in, talk it out. Okay? I'm going to leave this topic open for a few. If we don't have any disagreements or any conversations go on, we can actually go over to what I'm going to go ahead and say is the viewer's choice. Am I a goofy fella? I know I'm goofy. I know who you're talking about, though. I'm just messing with you. How you doing? Yeah, Priceless, thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. SAE Ecstasy Prez, thank you. If you do happen to see this live stream, for the shout out, for the support, I do appreciate everybody coming in here and sharing your opinion, sharing the love. If you disagree, if you don't agree, if you hate each other and you want to just talk it out, this is a place to do it, right? Fuck the police. I never hated an entire group. And you know what? There was one situation where I haven't looked at. And I'm actually going to bring it up right now. Oh, did they take it down? Oh, snap. Let me see.
Will you?
Yeah, you can come back in. You can come back in if you want. Again, the link's there. It's there for a reason. If you want to join in, you can. We can talk about it. You can voice your opinion. I think you were going to the store or something. Thank you. I don't want to mess up your name, so I'm going to say, how do you say Kamanian? I can't say it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Welcome back.
Hey, well, when I left that comment in the chat, I didn't know if that was going to be misconstrued, good or bad. But for over 2 hours, 3 hours today in the truck, we're driving throughout South Dakota, and we were talking about what makes you racist, and I had to take my brother's line of questioning seriously because he says, "Well, you remember back in the day when, you know, maybe you didn't like this guy or maybe you didn't like that guy, and that's an individual case by case, and that's based on their behavior." And he said, "You didn't like them based on their behavior, but you never hated anybody for their race. You never went out of your way to say that person did something to me." And the other thing was that he was in a bar one time, sitting at a bar with a white guy, and he's native. And so this guy says, he said a racist comment. He started talking kind of racist, and David said, "So it's okay if, because I'm bigger than you, that I can just go kill and rape your wife, and it's okay. That's okay if I do that because I'm bigger and stronger than you." Well, he was holding the guy up by his neck, right, in this bar, and everybody was watching, listening to the conversation. And so when he said the comment, he said, "So it's okay because I'm bigger and better. I should be able to do this to you because you're smaller and not as strong as me." So that point of, okay, we're talking, we're discussing this, you say the N-word around me, or, you come in my house and you disrespect my house, you think it's okay to say that. But understand, by you saying that word in my presence, it is kind of disrespectful. But when you go back to the meaning of the word, what does the meaning say? But then you do take into context, but over and all, and what you have to keep in mind, are you filled with, do we do things, but in the course of what we say and how it comes out, and that if you come across as you hate, and you hate an entire, you're talking down to them in a bar, just remember, next time when someone decides to assault you, think about what's coming out of your mouth and how you're talking about that person. I judge people on, obviously, if you're going to hit on my old lady right in front of me, you kind of get what you get no matter what setting we're in. So if we're in a bar and you seem to think it's appropriate to just go around and random people's dudes, and he gave me that scenario too. He's like, we're double dating, and all of a sudden this guy comes up to my table, he starts hitting on my old lady, or my girlfriend that I went there with, just a date. I had to set him straight. And he said, in that thing, I said over 4 times, I called him a bad name. But if you're going to act in such a manner as to not respect where you're at, or who and in what presence you're in, it's the way you come across. It's the way you present yourself in a bar or a restaurant setting. If you can't handle yourself up in Williston, North Dakota, or you can't, you know, you don't just come in acting like, you know, you're a king. It just doesn't work like that. The respect don't get reciprocated like that. So when people get so mad, and I've said stuff to cops before, but again, it's how you're acting. It's are you acting in accordance with being a police officer, or are you acting like a complete disgrace to the badge and the uniform that you wear? So at the end of the day, we have to take that.
Yeah, I think we do have to take that in. I think the officers who do, as you say, act as if, you know, they deserve respect. You know, I think those are the worst officers in general. And again, I don't hate officers. I really don't. I try to treat everybody with as much respect as possible. But the fact is that there are some officers out there who just try to say, well, I got a badge, I got a gun, respect my authority. And I say those are the worst officers is because you know they have qualified immunity. They know they have the, you know, quote unquote, what I call pseudo authority that will be allowed in courts to detain people for investigations, to potentially temporarily take away your freedoms because they feel like if they wanted to, you know. If you're an officer out there and you're on my channel and you think it's okay just because you have the authority to do something, the pseudo authority, and you know that it'll get, you know, thrown out in court to detain someone just because you have an issue with them, I'll kindly say that you're a fucking asshole. You know?
Right, let's put that into perspective. I'm bigger than you. I found out your address. I found where you live. Would you decide the same things if I knew you and your family and I shook hands with you, your wife, your child, your family? I'm in your community. Would you treat me the same way, you know, on that next stop? Or would you come to my house? I had an interaction last night with an officer at over midnight, and I told him, you need to leave. You know, I will ask you once to take the light out of my eyes, and I will ask you, and he actually put his flashlight down when I came around the corner. And then I walked up to him and I said, you need to back up, and you just need to leave, because you know we don't talk to you. There's no point in seeing or trying to get into the house. It isn't going to happen. You need to leave. Okay, let me just finish up here. No, there's no finishing up here. I'm not going to answer your questions. You need to leave. Now, at that point, if he decides to continue talking, he has been informed. You're pretty much violating my rights. You don't have a warrant. You have no reason to come in. You need to leave. And you're just fishing, and you're on a fishing expedition. Sorry, you got to go. But they choose to say the disrespectful things when they're walking away. You know, or they call you by your name, or they dox you, and it's like you're not even being recorded. I wasn't recording anything last night, but you know, if I catch you slipping or catch you at my door or my neighbor's door, you know, you have to understand. I'm going to tell you, you need to leave, and you're violating my rights just by you being on my property. That's it. It just keep you got to know your rights to stay out of jail. And so, yeah, I try to educate people, but there's never a good time to talk to a cop. There really isn't. So we respect each other, but guess what? That respect is not given back to us. And I know that, you know, many people, when they get stopped, they respect these officers, and then these officers treat them like total, you know, garbage. And that's horrible.
They're asking about you here, FTP.
Yes, I'm the same FTP with James Freeman, filming on 41st Street in Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that ran, spin moved, and fell on the cement has a lawsuit pending. Yes.
Oh man, yeah, I remember that.
For a middle finger and I think I said FTP or something, but he never heard me say that. He even said that in open court. So I pulled the records on that, and not I pulled the records, but that's what he said in court. So I pretty much know what his testimony was. But now I got to appeal that decision because I did lose one of the two charges. I ended up getting a one-armed bandit that used to be a judge. What was his name? Jess. Oh, I forget that guy's name now. We were just talking about him earlier today in the truck, but horrible in that they do guilty. But again, I go on your. I said, how was he as a public defender? And buddy goes, he wasn't that great of a public defender, and now he's a judge. So how's he going to be? So if you like to violate my rights, what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying?
I forgot who I had as my judge. Oh my gosh, he's a piece of work, man. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull that up. Because they said that this judge has been throwing out cases left and right. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Like John McBride was my judge for the Blas Hernandez situation.
What happened to you?
South Lake. If you haven't seen the video, it's a long. It happened in 2019, 2018, maybe 2019. I was detained because I was taking photos around a. What was it?
The police shooting
By a refinery. And as I was leaving, Blas Hernandez arrived and decided to be a bully. And do I have the body cam footage from him? I know I had it somewhere. But he accused me of trespassing. Damn it, man. You know what? I'm gonna have to go over that one day with you guys.
Yeah, just do a whole walkthrough, right? Because you know what?
Yeah.
I find that after a year and after 2 years, you kind of got to catch everybody up on it again and update them on the case. Like I got court on the 3rd coming up here, but on a new case. But
yeah, and I think the thing with the court cases, man, it really is like it's a hassle on not the officer, but mainly the auditor and their lawyers and whoever you have going in there, because again, you're wasting your time, your money. The cop doesn't have to do shit. He just has to show up and he's getting paid.
right. Well, that's going to change here pretty soon because now we're Googling their addresses and we're showing up at their houses, and then we're doing protests in front of their house, and it's kind of a game changer because they used to be able to hide what they were driving in the driveway, and now all of a sudden it gets a little personal, and I see the looks on their face, and they're kind of recoiling at how they treat young, underage school kids, and when they get called on the carpet, and when they get called literally like racist against these young black ladies. I mean, I'll call it out now when I see it, when I know it for a fact, and when I do, I make sure to give them some information that they maybe didn't already have, or help them with knowing, maybe where their address is, or just kind of update them on where my investigation's going into their life, so that they don't always feel like, hey, we got you cornered and you don't know nothing about us. So now we're taking it a little bit further and just saying, I know you were
Uh-oh.
with the newspapers and the news. I seen what you did.
Yeah,
Well,
you're cutting out
interrogation.
just a little bit there. It's cutting in and out. But yeah, I think to me, honestly, if it's legal, if everything's legal, I'm down for it. All right. With the Blas Hernandez situation, we've already finished it. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're cutting in and out a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
public record.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if it's 100% legal, I'm down for anybody doing whatever they feel is right in that situation. Again, I try and be vague with my descriptions here because I don't want people saying, "Well, you said to go do it," because I don't tell people to do shit. I tell people to do whatever they feel is right, as long as it's in the context of the law. And you have the right to do it. Go for it. You know. In my situation, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go out, take photos, enjoy my day. And the problem is that once you've done auditing in your world, right? Anytime you go out and take photos, people will always assume you're out there auditing. You know, oh, you're auditing this coffee shop. Oh, you're auditing this park. Oh, you're auditing this such and such, right? And you can do auditing once, or just have a bad luck with having interaction with cops and knowing your rights. But what I did notice is that South Lake, at this point, they will send over a message to the officers on scene and say, "Oh, is he giving you a hard time? Is he not giving up his ID?" And they'll assume you're just an auditor. They'll just assume it, no matter what interaction you do.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
But
I
what's
mean,
bad is that
look. They talk about us in the locker room. They pass messages back and forth about us. And this is where the problem comes in, that we have to start fighting with equal force or more force than what they're fighting with. So if their knowledge is such, and they know my name and they know my first name and last name, we got to start making it our point to know their first, last, middle, date of birth. So whatever they're saying to us, we should meet them with equal force. And that's just the groundwork. Then we can get on their level and playing field. And then we need to start the database of data mining off of their first, last, middle, and just make sure that we have what they're driving and their tag number and their, can I see your VIN number? Can I take a look at your car number? At some point, you just got to be so close to them that they're just like, what are you doing, dude? But you're doing an investigation the same way they're doing an investigation. And this is how it feels when I break your private space, your personal space, and your family's personal space. Now, all of a sudden, it's not so funny anymore. And then usually they'll just quit their job and I don't want nothing more to do with this because it got a little too personal. That's the way I see it.
And the thing is that during the trial, during the Blas Hernandez trial, there was a lot of shit he was going through because not only did he, cause the department to receive a bunch of phone calls because people decided, hey, we're going to call Flip. We're going to call Flip. And I say, that's up to you guys. I don't really give a shit. Do it. Fucking do it if you want to. I'm not going to tell you to do it. I'm just going to say if it's in your legal right to do so, fucking do it. We found out some information. We found out, that he has a business, right? He has, he has a few kids. I told people, hey, don't fucking bring his kids in that. That's where I cross the line. I found out his wife, works for a news station. I found out a whole bunch of information. There's a lot of shit that I found out. I mean, it's very simple. And when those things started to come to light, he suited up and said, fuck, man, fuck. Now my family's hitting it, feeling this, because I decided to be an asshole. But again, I was like, I cut it off at the people messing with people's kids. Don't fuck with people's kids. Right? And I say,
well, I don't have any boundaries because I've seen them go after friends, families. I've seen them go after my family. I've seen them interrogate my family for stuff that I have or have not done.
Oh no. Let me rephrase that then. What I say is in seeking justice for things that have happened to me, don't go after people's kids.
You have to. You can't stop because they won't stop until you're in a jail or prison cell. That's what they want for you and your family. Mm-hmm. And why would you pull my mom over and start asking, well, where's your son? Where's your brother? That's uncalled for. I mean, can you imagine your daughter getting pulled over and then them asking, well, how's your brother doing? Where's he at? What's he been doing lately? Well, I ain't seen him in a while. Well, when's the last time I haven't seen him for two weeks? Look, dude, if I wanted you to know where I was at every noon, night, and day and give you updates, I'll just come over to your dinner table. We'll sit down. We'll have something to eat. But you will not pull someone over on the side of the road and then start interrogating them about their kids. That's not going to happen. And if it ever does, happen again, there's going to be consequences for going forward, right? In my mind, that this is something that totally unprofessional. And once he did it, that was it. I mean, you get what you get, and the department gets what they get. I'm not going to allow the unprofessionalism to go on anymore and slide. I'm done with it. So I will do whatever the ends justify the means for me. And if that means two wrongs, making two more wrongs, then I guess we got to go there, because I'm not willing to compromise my morals and my values for them.
Johnny? Yeah, I mean that's your opinion, and like I said, it's like that's where you're willing to go, right? Me personally, I just say if I have an issue with you, right, and you're trying to go ahead and impact me, I'm gonna impact you, right? I'm gonna give you the same energy you give, with the fact that I know I have knowledge to go even further, right? You know how officers are trained to stop a situation is they are allowed to go, a step higher to subdue you, right? So if you're using hands to, throwing hands at them, they're allowed to use, takedowns. Say if you're unable to do a takedown and it gets even further, they're allowed to use a taser. Say if you got something to, stops the taser, they're allowed to go further and further and further, right? I have the knowledge that I could go further, but I let them know, hey, I'm not going to go there unless if you really want to make it, go there. I still refrain from using kids, though.
Well, it starts out gradual, and then it gets to the point where it gets to. And the Hatfields and McCoys, it was the same thing. It starts where it starts, and then it ends where it ends. And sometimes it ends very, very, very badly. Because and that's just from a show. I mean, but we all know what happens when it's like, what's that one, Marriage? Oh my gosh, the two are married, they can't stand each other, and they pretty much kill each other before they get their divorce. I forget what it's called, but they fight about the house, they fight about money, they fight about everything while they're inside the house, and eventually they just do each other in. And
it sounds familiar.
I'm trying to think of the name of it, but once again, I'm drawing a blank.
It sounds familiar. I just know, like, me personally, that's just how I am. I mean, like, if I find someone going after my kids, first of all, it's, I'm very protective of my family, for one. Anybody who tries to do anything to my kid is going to have a fight on their hands. I'm just going to say that. Two, I'd expect the same to happen if I went after someone else's kid, right? Like in my last video where people are coming out into the street bothering me, someone said, "Oh, I think he's a pedophile." So what does he do? He brings his kid into the middle of the street where I'm filming. He says, "Look, he's a pedophile. Look, he's a pedophile." Why did you bring your kid out here into the middle of the street if you think there's a suspected pedophile out here? You know, like, to me, that makes zero sense. I will never in my life say, I think that person's a pedophile. Let me go ahead and bring a kid out here. You know, like that.
Right.
You know, I would never put my kid in that situation.
No, and I know you're trying to get away from this whole kids notion thing, but I want you to know, when they take you to prison and they're jailing your whole family, or when they're locking you up for 20 to 30 years, I'm sorry, but that's impacting my family.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind, that when they take you away from your loved ones for an extended stay at the Sioux Falls Inn, it's not an enjoyable time. Will really piss you off, and I've learned over 30 plus years, sitting complacent has not gotten me anywhere, and it hasn't gotten any of us anywhere. So if we want this to stop, we have to attack this head on, full force, and don't stop, don't back down, because once you back down, you lose. You're going to lose your fight, you're going to lose your voice, you're going to get silenced. And I don't know about you, but I'm not in it. I have kids, and my kids go to school with their kids. I have many times they've come home, and the jailers, my kids go to school with their kids. They grow up with their kids all the way through middle school, high school, and they come home and they're like, "Hey, this is a cop," and then they're like, "What's his name?" And so he says, "Well, blah blah and blah," and then I'm like, "Okay, well," and so they're what, they want to go out with you, and I'm like, "Okay, this is a little weird. It's a cop's kid." So I mean, I'm a little erring on the side of caution at this point, and I'm like, well, who is this kid? And so I'm prying and I'm digging, and it's kind of funny who these people are, though, because they're people that are cops right here in Sioux Falls, right? And their kids go to the same school as our kids, but they're just too blind to see that if you really wanted to play some games, it would be game on, because they think that they're untouchable, and they're actually not, and they're not doing their kids any favors by being oath breakers. Bottom line.
Yeah. So I did have a question for you regarding the Micaiah Bryant thing. Have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Yeah, man. So it's the last video we played, but long story short is let me just show you the video. This is the second body cam footage. It doesn't show the first, but let me just go back here. Let me go back to the original body cam footage. So in this situation, if you haven't seen it yet, a lot of people are saying
this one where she took a knife out to the sister. It never had to happen. Okay, you can go ahead and play it.
Oh, we've played it. We've already played it. If you already know about the situation.
Oh, no, I've seen it. You know what? I get this weird look on my face when people say, when I ask people, or no, he offered it up to me. He's like, well, I wasn't watching the trial. So, okay, so you're telling me you haven't heard about the George Floyd trial. And so you're going to pass it off like you were just working. I've been busy. So what you're telling me is in 2 weeks to 3 weeks he was on trial. You never watched a day of trial. You didn't even know George Floyd happened. I mean, you never seen it. I mean, this is when I say, as an auditor, like, red flags are going up in my how do you not hear about this? I mean, this is worldwide news. So I pretty much write you off at that point. I don't care how many subscribers you have. You kind of just, either you just don't want to talk about it, you don't want to bring it up, or you don't want to stick up for him, or you just don't want the debate on your channel. I'm not sure what you're going for, but totally looks horrible on that auditor when you don't do what's right and you don't point out what is wrong, or You don't even give your opinion on it.
I mean, people who just want to, go to work and come back home and not worry about politics and stuff. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. Are you saying that they're also responsible for when things go wrong? It's kind of like, are you saying that like Home Depot is in trouble right now for not saying anything? Like, should they be in trouble just for staying out of it?
For staying silent and letting and not participating in world events and things that you because you don't want to get your hands muddy and dirty because you're so focused on the money over to the left or to the right, and you're taking it in by the handfuls. But yeah, so I mean, what I'm saying is if you have a channel that's so big and you're going to overlook the racism, aren't you part of the problem? If you're going to overlook the cops and just keep looking the other way, aren't you part of the problem? That you don't speak out and yell it to the rooftops and say and denounce it at least. So if we denounce Boko Haram or whatever you want to say, what Afghani, whatever, I don't know what they're called. Geez, I don't even know what they're called. Yeah, that's on me for not.
It's cool. It's good, man. It's fine.
Spades, the King of Spades and the Queen, but they're all called the. It's not militia. It's the Al Qaeda or Al Qaeda. I don't know.
Yeah, you're saying if you don't stand up and at least say that you're against them, that means you're for them. Is that?
Well, at what point do you start looking at a guy and saying that white privilege is kind of looking a little messed up on you? You know.
Well, I mean, that's if you believe white privilege is a thing. I mean, I actually see a hell of a lot more racism towards white people in the last decade or so than in my entire lifetime.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't even be a white guy anymore. You can't even not say anything and just be a racist because you're white. I mean, I work at a place that I had to take a diversity and inclusion training, which was essentially just 40 minutes of telling me I'm a white person. So because I'm white, I'm racist. Asking me questions like, are you a racist? Do you have unbiased? If you say no, it says you've got the wrong answer. So you tell me there isn't any racism towards white people, and nobody seems to talk about that or stand up against that.
Well,
hell,
you got to ask that individual person if they hate you. Do they hate your race?
I don't care if they hate me or my race. It's perfectly within the law that they could be racist. Racism isn't illegal. So
do you subscribe to it, or do you?
No, I don't think being a racist is stupid. I think being a racist is its own punishment. Nobody wants to be around a racist. Nobody wants to be friends with a racist. They're so rare and they're so few and far between.
I think
hardly anybody knows one.
I think we can easily spot it at this point. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh, anybody who says an entire race is something, then they're a racist. I mean, every time you hear any race say all white people are racist, that's racist. I mean, that's just how that works. So if we're talking about race being a problem, yeah, I guess it's a problem. It's only a problem because everybody keeps talking about it like it's a thing, but it really isn't a thing. Excuse me. It really isn't a thing.
Yeah, but that's like saying all the school shooters wouldn't be a thing if we would just quit talking about it.
Well, I mean, there is an argument made that copycats and stuff, it's not every time. But certainly there's an argument there that if you didn't talk about it so much, it wouldn't happen so much.
I mean, it
doesn't mean it won't.
It could be that the kid's getting bullied at school, or the stress level, or the bullying.
I would say it is mainly the bullying, because I think a few years ago I did a live stream at a gun rally, and this lady, she says, "Why do you need that? Why do you need that?" And people said, it's my right. It's my First Amendment right, or my Second Amendment right. It's my right to have this. And she says, but you don't need that. I mean, kids, and she said this, she said, kids are getting out there and, they're mad and they get upset because other kids start fighting and throwing hands with them, and they don't want to throw hands anymore. They just go and get a gun. I was like, and I stopped her there. I said, look, why are they assaulting that kid for no reason? She goes, well, that's just how things are. And I said, well, that's not how things should be. Do you not understand? Like, you shouldn't be putting your hands on people. And two, if this person has no outlet, and he's just building that up, and he has no way to put that anywhere, and he has access to a gun, it's most likely he is going to become one of those mass shooters. All right. So it's like, it's one of those situations where what is the main source of this happening? It could be that there is too much bullying. It could be that there's not enough mental health programs out there for these kids, right? It could be that, it's just a string of just insanity. Who knows? There's no way to pinpoint the natural cause of gun violence right now.
Well, I can say that we definitely can't do anything about the bullying, and the more we do about it, the worse it gets. Bullying is a very natural part of life, and bullies get what they get. They get what's coming to them socially when they get older. If they don't fix their bullying behavior, they're going to become criminals or not very popular. But in that sense, it's like if you're trying to solve a problem like mass shooting, most mass shooters have some serious issues at home, like in the sense of incestual molestation, in the sense of abuse, things of that nature. It doesn't excuse the shooting, obviously, but we can't think of guns as the problem. The gun is not the problem. The access to like actual help for children who have been horribly abused is just, you can't catch them. It's a respondent thing. You can't like look for children. I mean, obviously you can look for children who've been abused, but like, you're not going to catch it all. There's going to be mass shootings no matter what we do about it. And it is a matter of public. I know we've probably gone way off trail here, but it's definitely a mental health issue. But just like thieves, we're not going to get rid of it.
We're not off topic because we already went through the 2 topics already. This is pretty much a viewer's choice, pretty much.
But with that thing that we were just looking at, that's that the reaction from that is very clear of what I'm talking about, where we can't trust the Derek Chauvin deliberation because of this mentality that we're out for blood. It's no matter what it is. If it's a white cop involving a black person, then boom, racist. They deserve the chair. They deserve to be ripped limb from limb. And we need to, as a whole community, to stand against people who are acting like that, who want mob justice. Mob justice is not justice.
I think you keep using the word mob justice, and the only people that convicted him were a jury of 12 and a judge.
But we can't trust the deliberation with how much went on. I can't trust the deliberation because
so you
I don't
trust the justice system. Is that what I'm hearing?
I've been wronged by the justice. Well, just about everybody here in the audit community has been wronged by the justice system in many ways, and I'm saying it happens. This is another case where he did not get the sentence he deserved. He got way more than he deserved. In that, at some point, somebody is going to have to lay blame somewhere at George Floyd's feet for committing crimes, doing drugs, fighting with the police. And I'll also say he's not as innocent a guy as we might want to think, right? With this great guy with this big personality who's so happy and he's so jovial, right? I've seen that before. He knew it was a $20 bill, a fake $20 bill, and he's doing the sleight of hand thing where it's like, oh, if I just distract you enough, you won't notice it's a $20 bill. I've had that happen to me.
How do we know that? So his buddy never got up and testified, which was a coward act.
Well, I mean, he kind of did.
But what if it was his friend's fake 20?
he was still using it. You still have to go to jail.
But didn't his friend go in there and they can't differentiate?
His friend got to go home. You know?
Yeah, I understand that.
Oh,
That's
okay.
did they get the right guy?
Look, if you're in a situation where you got a fake $20 bill in your hand and you don't know it, man, you've got a lot of problems you got to have to solve before. Not to mention you're on drugs and stuff like bad drugs. They want to act like he was an addict or something like that. And I always think of an addict like they want to do it in secret. They're ashamed of being an addict. They're ashamed of doing drugs. And he was doing it right out in the open. He was completely high off his mind, out of his balls. I'm not saying he deserved to die or deserved to be dead. You know, like, I'm just saying, like, if we're going to be a society who holds the best example up, George Floyd ain't it. He ain't the example that we should be looking up to. Are
you saying that you don't love George Floyd?
Why would I love a stranger like that? Like any stranger. I reserve love for dogs and.
Do you love your mom?
Yeah, of course. Do you?
Do you love your dad?
Yeah, and they both deserve it. Yeah.
Do you love your brother?
Yeah, he deserves it too.
Are they all perfect?
Oh, obviously not. But why should I love a stranger? I don't understand the question.
So have you ever?
I love bugs.
Is he perfect?
Who, me? No, I'm not perfect. No.
Okay.
So. One moment, sorry.
Yeah, so.
I think any of us are fucking perfect. So we're gonna sit here and judge George Floyd.
See, I don't see how you can judge a guy that's dead.
He was murdered in front of
He's murdered. He's the victim, and yet
fucking one on trial.
Sorry about that. I had a phone call. Judge a guy who's dead. We judge person by his actions, not by whatever. Like, if you judge me by my actions, I'm a pretty lazy slob who is not successful because I have too many indulgences that I want to keep going on instead of actually, achieving shit in life. So, we're all responsible for our own actions. I could be a millionaire if I felt like it, but I'm not, because I really like soda and indulging in expensive habits. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
When he's dead, we'll make sure that we point out all of his flaws to his family. Don't mourn.
Why the family? If we're talking about reality here, if we're looking at a situation and trying to analyze this without emotion, right, without a bias, because we want to get the right answer.
Warning you. Nope. Remember that you're a criminal. You've done bad in your life before.
Right.
We'll make sure
I've been to jail.
All your flaws. There's
okay.
Warning you.
I mean, I'll be dead, so it won't matter to me.
Really, no point.
But I mean, if you're saying it's ill to speak, if you're saying it's just wrong to speak ill of the dead, I'm not speaking ill of him. I'm speaking the truth. He was passing a $20 bill, a fake $20 bill, fought with the cops, had himself an overdose in the middle of the road. I mean, how embarrassing is that?
He didn't
wound up dead.
Trial?
I'm sorry?
He didn't overdose. Did you watch the trial?
I did watch the trial. I even watched the stuff that the jury didn't get to see. When they were talking about things like his drug level and what his knee was. I mean, you're telling me that the guy dug his knee into the back of this dude's neck so much that he died? No. I mean, let's say he had his hands around his neck. Let's say he had his hands around his neck and he strangled him to death. I could see first degree murder with that. Because that's first of all against policy. Second, let's not forget, had he just gone into the vehicle, had he just taken responsibility for his stupidity, his stupid behavior, his stupid decisions, he'd be alive, probably, if he wouldn't overdose. If it wasn't just an overdose.
He didn't overdose.
Sure he did.
Hard?
Sure he did.
Oh my fucking God.
I mean, what's your proof that he didn't?
They found the pill that was in his mouth in the car, you dumb fuck.
I mean, aren't there more than one pills in existence?
You're a retard.
I mean, I could be retarded. That's fine.
Jesus.
Hold on, guys. Come on now.
It's cool, man.
I know you're cool, but it's just...
All right, guys.
We're having a conversation.
We're gonna shut it down now.
No,
we
we're
don't
not
have to
shutting anything down. I'm just saying. All right.
Look.
Go back and rewatch.
I think he needs to go back and rewatch.
I'll rewatch it. I'll rewatch it.
Watch some Unicorn Riot. Go back. He's got the entire trial all wrapped up, day to day, every minute, every hour.
Right.
Listen closely.
Nothing else.
Good Luck America is a good one to watch.
If nothing else, okay, go back and watch the body cam footage.
Yeah,
okay.
I've watched that many times. Yeah.
That's in. They check his pulse. Okay.
Right.
Do you really think he was claustrophobic? So I have a question. Do you really think he was claustrophobic?
Okay, listen to this. Yeah, I'm sure he was claustrophobic. About 4 or 5 minutes pulse, and he has no pulse. Do you not think they should have not administered CPR at that point? They're guilty at that.
And
no
why
matter.
did you watched the trial? Why did the medical people not show up right away? Why did they not show up right away? No, because the crowd was rowdy and they were getting threatening and they were moving around and they weren't being calm. They were trying to tell them what to do and
shadows
acting like they were gonna do something.
Nobody threatened the officers.
I watched the same videos you did.
Yes, cops can administer CPR, can they not?
Sure, I think they should have.
They're like he couldn't.
They didn't.
The guy wasn't moving for over a minute and a half.
Yeah, well,
they're all guilty either way.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah, but guilty of what though? I mean, guilty of
murder.
Murder is not the right thing. Murder is
I think it should have.
Murder is I am deliberately setting out to intentionally kill somebody because that's what I want to do. That's murder.
Motherfucker.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to wonder. Like, this dude must be
just a guy,
chicken troll or something.
I'm just a little guy. I'm fine. I'm just an artist.
Yes. What's your real name?
You know,
you don't want to give that out. I understand.
I'm gonna go.
Why do you want to know my real name?
I don't want to start nothing on nobody.
G-Tag, what have you exposed me to?
Unless he's a cop. If he says he's a cop, maybe.
All right.
I'm not a cop.
Are you in training to be a cop?
I'm not even tall enough to be a cop. Like,
you're not tall enough? You couldn't be like.
No, I'm like 5'5".
A little narcissistic.
No, could you imagine me going up against George Floyd? Hell no. That guy's like 6'6" or some shit.
So you got to be tall to be a cop, and you got to be.
I think that to be an effective cop, you should be at least 6 feet tall, broad as a stump.
I think they would let you onto the academy with that.
I don't think I would fit. I couldn't stop anyone. You think I could stop someone from committing a crime? Hell no. I'm a tiny dude. I got a tiny.
They've got an opening in Minneapolis.
You got an opening in Minneapolis, yeah. Hell no, man.
You better join. They need you.
I'm good.
They need you on the
good. No, I'm not willing to make that sacrifice.
Okay. I'm gonna quit bombing your channel here. I'm gonna get off of here because I really didn't come on here for all this. I didn't sign up for this. I love your channel. I love what you're doing. No, but that's not this guy. This I don't know. Maybe they run this and they call.
Right, dude. I just have a different opinion. That's okay.
Yeah. I respect the owner of the channel.
Okay.
I do. I'm sorry, man, if I came across a little brash with this guy, but
no. The thing is, what I'm saying here is that whether you guys disagree or agree, again, that's what we have these open discussions for. Not everyone's going to agree, all right? As I said, me and Gas, we're actually pretty chill, right? We don't agree with everything. He knows we don't agree with everything. He knows if he came here today and said,
is he that ignorant that he's just doing it on purpose? Because this is one of them cases where, like, are you just that ignorant? I mean, I'm just saying.
I think the thing is, Gas is used to having open discussions with me as well. We really, honestly, we really do not agree with on a lot of things, right? And it's fine. It's really fine, right? Whether you believe, that he's trolling you or whatever, it's fine. These are just words, right? These are just opinions, and these are just things that we go ahead and say, okay, is this how you think? If you rather associate yourself with gas or not,
I don't. Well, but then is he a bootleg? What does that make him? What category do we put him in?
Why gotta have a label, man? I'm just a guy.
I don't label anybody here in here. Rather you like again.
Like he's judging George Floyd for dying.
I mean, I judge you. I judge G-Tag. I judge the supermarket guy. I judge everybody.
So you said you don't judge, and then you said you do judge.
No, I said I don't judge.
Feeling some hypocrisy.
Right, yeah. Now, there's a difference between judging and holding. Holding things against people.
I'm definitely holding on. I'm holding on to my feet here, going, we are in for a wild ride tonight, and this could take a while, because the most stubborn wins.
Because my judgment towards you, right? I don't hold it against you.
Well, sometimes I just like to, I like to argue with people, but then I like to you know what? I'm just gonna say that you're right and agree with you, and then let you go on your way, because that's the only way I can win.
That's a good strategy.
It really is. It's like live and let live kind of thing, and I'm just gonna agree to disagree, and no, I'm gonna agree with you so that you think that I'm agreeing with everything that you're saying,
right?
Because we all should think like I don't know, dude. I'm a little confused.
It's fun that you have a different opinion. I mean, it's cool. I'm glad that you're here is saying things, because like G-Tag and I, we'd just be sitting here bored disagreeing with each other with 2 topics. But with 3 people here, we can have even more. Even 4. Now we've got 4 people.
Hey, I like
cool.
That's good, babe.
Look, what are you doing, Joe? You in your car again?
I am. I'm at a drive-through in Nebraska.
Hey, that little girl got shot in a drive-through at McDonald's. Be careful, Joe. Duck. Out there in Chicago while you was gone.
So many people been getting shot out there lately, man. It's hard to keep up with which one you're talking about.
I can't imagine why you don't want to be in Chicago.
Well,
what's up, Joe Cool? I saw you in my stream the other day.
Honest Gas, what's up, man?
Why are you in his stream, Joe?
Are you trying to
speak the gospel to him?
I think he was just. Oh, sorry. I'll let him answer. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, I stop in there a lot, but you're kind of busy. You don't pay a whole lot of attention, man. But I'm stopping off, even if I don't say anything. I stop in your room a lot.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yes. One day I think you had stepped out. I couldn't understand what the hell you was making, man. It looked like a motorcycle seat or something. I don't know. It was kind of triangular and shit and long. Yeah. What the hell is that?
That is my.
So Joe,
I see it now.
We have Fuck the Police here with us today. This is his first time joining the open discussion. And you've been on part of my open discussions. We don't always get along, right? So it's a good way to go ahead and broaden your horizon. So again, whether you disagree or agree, I appreciate people coming on here and telling somebody else, "Hey, man, fuck you." Eat my nuts, nigga. Whatever. It don't matter, because when you come out here and you say your piece and you say what you actually fucking mean, it means you're getting that shit off your chest. It means you're not bottling that shit up. It means you're going ahead and telling everybody exactly how you fucking feel about it, and we're doing it respectfully.
I'm glad that you feel that way, man, over here, because everybody got different rules to their room. And I'm like that. I don't know, man, if you gotta hammer it out with somebody, man, as long as it ain't getting too crazy, talking about killing a nigga's mom or something. Yes, let them hammer it out. Sometimes they reach a conclusion, sometimes they don't. And like you say, at least shit's in the open, man, as long as you don't hate each other when it's done. And I won't.
Oh, I'll go give Honest Gas a good hug. That's what he needs. He needs more love, kind, caring.
Everyone could use a hug.
Joe.
I was thinking anal FTP, but a hug will do.
I'll give him a hug and a shake. And
Paul,
Right, we'll give a light
girl
fist
hug.
bump.
I'll say the N word again, Paul. Neighborly.
I won't get mad and not come back, Joe.
I'm like, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back.
Damn it.
Yeah,
You'll
get to know.
got me and my whole family triggered, but it's okay. I'll come back tomorrow and get more abuse. I liked it.
Shit. Apparently, I like abuse. I keep going back to my girlfriend.
I tell you, the Mogtow, baby.
Shit. Are all women crazy, yo?
Not all.
Are they all bipolar?
Not all.
You in Omaha, Nebraska, or what?
I am in Omaha, Nebraska. Yes.
You less than what, 6? You probably passed through here.
Wait, where are you?
Sioux Falls.
That's Idaho. Oh fuck! I just went through Idaho, didn't I?
South Dakota, bro.
Oh, okay.
Shit. I'm actually moving up to North Dakota soon.
I'm near South Dakota.
What? You had to pass through there to get to Omaha, right? Or did you go around?
I think I went through one of them ashtrays, Iowa, some shit like that.
I-29?
Hold on, guys.
Joe's crazy. I know he came right through here. Oh, Joe.
It's okay.
Trouble.
Joe came through Texas one day.
That's it, Joe. I already know where you're heading. Joe, I know you heading out to Denver. He ain't not talking to me anymore.
I think he ordering some food right now. Joe always come in here. He's the first one to start ordering something, or like having a whole blown.
I don't know if he's the first one to do that, but he probably is. He muted out.
Yeah, he did.
I wonder what he's eating, like a McChicken or what?
I think he's ordering food. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him what he ordered.
I'm
Joe,
back.
what you ordered?
Yeah. I ordered 2 taco supremes and sweet tea.
Oh, so you sitting at a Taco Bell?
I am at a Taco Bell. Yes, I am. I just started eating this shit about 2 weeks ago. I hadn't ate it in like 15, 20 years. I found out you could put extra meat on it when I was out of town with NSC in North Carolina or something. I've been buying it since. Yeah,
you heading out to Denver or what?
I am. I'm gonna spend a night here and then about 6 more hours at Denver. Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't spend the night. You spend the night in your car, or you just
goodness no.
Just go to the car. You'll save $120.
I'm not spending no bread. He said he got a sneaky link.
I got a spot for the night. Yo.
Yeah, he said he got a sneaky link. Is what he said.
I go over to Omaha Cop Block, knock on his door, rap on his door, and be like, "Let me in."
Somebody else texted me. There was no name on there, but they're like, "I heard you in my town. Give me a call." I don't know who else is here. I don't know who all here.
Omaha. Yeah, I don't know who else is there. Grammy Bears in Omaha.
I'm gonna text. I'll hit the number back and see who it is. I ain't even asked who it is. I was driving.
If it's the chick, I know Joe gonna be there.
Damn right.
My bro just passed through there.
Hey! Can you see me? This the shit that pissed that pissed FTP off when I be showing my bread.
You're always pissing me off when you showing stacks like that. You know I ain't got no stacks like that, bro.
I know you.
What? I was traveling today too. We probably passed each other on the Interstate 29. I'm telling you.
How about I visit you on the way back if you're okay with that? I'm down with that.
You fucking better. If you're gonna pass through, you better.
All right. Make sure you text me in case your number's in my other phone or one of my other 4 phones or something.
Well, what's your number? 1-800-JOE-COOL?
Yeah, I'll put it in the private.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Shove it. You know what? I'll call.
G-Tag already got my fucking number, and I trust honest guys. You can put it in the private. G-Tag. In fact, I'm gonna ask you. It's easier for you to text my number and that than for me because I'm the way I got my phone set up.
I'll put it in the private chat right now.
Thanks. I'll be probably hanging out with Eric a couple of days. I might hang out with Wendy a couple of days, but in about 4 or 5 days, I'll be coming back this way.
I know you will. I should be heading out there. I don't know what I'm doing, still sitting here, but I got court the 3rd, so.
You know how great that would have been You know, it's gonna be a lot of us out here, right?
How many? Probably a lot. What's going on out there though? Like, is he getting sentenced or what?
Yes, a sentencing hearing. Yes, it's determined. They looking at what they say 20 per case or blah blah whatever. That's what they talk on the internet. But his friends say he's looking at 3 years, and they're gonna determine how long it's gonna be in 2 days. And shit, just my group got a 15 fucking unit Airbnb. So I don't know how many niggas coming.
What is an Airbnb, bro? Is that like a place to stay or what?
Yeah, place to stay. You rent a motherfucker crib rather than getting a hotel. And this shit is dapper, ridiculous. Look like some real what was that shit? Real world shit, on MTV. It looked like that, Joe.
Hey, Joe, that number was 817-581-1743, right?
The number that called
No,
me.
I'm just fucking.
Oh, I
I ain't giving out your number.
I thought you said the number that called me, an unknown number text me. I'm like, how you doing, baby? I'm having a good day. Thank you for asking. I wonder why is he doxing dude number like that, Joe?
Nah, that's just a McDonald's. If y'all want to call McDonald's, that's on y'all.
Stupid. Hey, I'm gonna mute up. I'm grabbing my food.
Cool. Nah, I already know like haters will be like, "Ooh, you got a number. You got a number now. We calling it. Yeah, we calling that number. They gonna call it McDonald's. Yeah, they calling McDonald's.
I'll have a number 5, number 3 large, number 7, extra dip."
You know, who I enjoyed watching was the old clips from Unforgivable. If y'all
Unforgivable.
Have you seen that? Fuck the police.
Which one?
The guy who goes. It's an old clip. This black guy in the woods. He be talking how he does his girl dirty, right? And he's just like unforgivable, right? It's unforgivable. Went to Home Depot, saw a lot of bitches.
I don't know if I've ever seen that one though.
I told my girl, "Yo, get in the car. We going to Chick-fil-A."
I love
paying because I ain't got no money.
Joe, when's that court date? Is that the 3rd or what? Or when's he got court?
He's still driving through the thing real quick.
The drive-thru. He's picking up his.
Monday is the court date.
So he's probably got the same day I got it. All of us, here's how messed up this is. It's all a coordinated effort to extort us on the 3rd of the month. Yeah, right about when you get money.
When
all the welfare checks come in. You gotta be waiting by the mailbox again. Sorry. All right, man, I gotta get out of here.
That is an interesting coincidence, that's for sure.
Joe, you have fun, and I know you coming right by here, the I-29, I-90 corridor. So
even if I'm anywhere close, I'll drive that extra few hours to see your ass.
I know that's about it. If you're stuck in Omaha, I could come bomb in on you anytime, dude.
All right. I'll call you on the way back on this route.
That's right.
Well, you'll call me. You got my number. Get my number out of private. Make sure you screenshot it and call me.
No, I got it. I wrote it down.
All right.
It's better than taking a picture. It lasts longer.
All right.
All right. Peace out. Bye.
So, Joe, I had a question for you because we already went over it today. Yeah. So we already went over it today. What do you think about the Ma'Khia Bryant situation?
Excuse me. Choking over here. I gotta say, man, I think the shit was, I hate to sound like a cop, but I think it was not just justified, but necessary. She was stabbing that kid up.
She's about to.
I heard she hit her 3 or 4 times already. We did some investigating on that shit already. Looked like she hit her 3 or 4 times already. And right when he shot her, looked like She was right there on the girl again, under her ribs, by her breast. I mean, any one of those could have killed her. And I realize we're all in our feelings. I want to run out and protest. I hate it. I hate the fucking optics of another white dude killing a black kid and all that shit. But I try to, put myself in both shoes, right? If that's my kid being killed and that's a grown man stabbing her up and he don't shoot that motherfucker, I'm mad as fuck. And if it's anybody stabbing up my kid, and done hit her 3-4 times already, no, if she dies and he doesn't shoot, he run over there, tackle the young girl and all that, and the other girl dies, he's in fucking trouble. And for wrestling with her while she's stabbing up this little girl, cutting her throat.
I think the main people I really do blame in that whole situation, other than because I don't blame the cops, I really blame the adults who were there.
Oh, of course, right?
Right, because I don't know if that was her father, uncle, or whatever, but the one who kicked the girl in the back of the head, they're like, bro, you should be stopping the situation. You should be taking control of that situation.
I think he helped get the little kid killed because he let her know it's okay to be violent.
Right. And I was like, bro, you really should be, in general, you should be stopping whatever's going on from happening, right? Instead of partaking in it. Because you're not teaching her any better. You're actually encouraging it, And my mother actually called me and asked me about that whole situation. I said, nah, that was justified.
Right.
And I don't want. Go ahead. She said, well, why couldn't he have just shot her in the leg or the hand or even shot the knife? I was like, do you know how difficult it is to shoot a small moving target?
Police aren't allowed to do that anyway. They can't shoot like that. They got to shoot cinema ass and all that bullshit.
And they said, well, he could have shot a warning shot or something. It's like, that's illegal too.
Yes, illegal. And the little girl might have been dead with 1 or 2 more pokes, man. He had to react fast.
Like,
not only that, if you shoot their knee, you've just maimed them. It's could be really bad.
It causes them lifetime pain forever.
Of course, you're shooting. I said we are talking about straws here, or whatever you call it. The pulling,
splitting hairs.
Splitting hairs. Yeah, thank you.
Damn, I only got 1 mouth sauce, and I'm too lazy to go back in that motherfucker to drive through around the block. It's closed. Fuck them.
God damn it.
Right.
I fucking hate fast food, man. They always mess up my orders, man.
Right. They specifically asked me what kind of any sauce. Yes, mild sauce, baby. Thank you. Specifically asked. She specifically asked me. Y'all gotta excuse me a bit.
I had an embarrassing moment at a Subway not too long ago.
I'm listening.
It's not too long a story. I walked in and didn't realize there was already an incident going on. Of a lady had a complaint and she was kind of making a scene, but I saw my sandwich and I was like, that's not 6 inches. That's like 4 inches. Like that's way too small. So I'm like in my brain, I'm going, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But I was like, well, maybe I could just. It's like, can I get one that's 6 inches long? That looks way too small. And she jumps in going, yeah, that does look pretty small. But I didn't realize at the time that she was like already berating this dude for a good bit before I got there. And when I finally got to the cat, he cut one again, and they were all the same size. So I was like really embarrassed. I was like, oh shit, he really did cut that thing in half. Like, it's not, it's like, oh crap, I was in the wrong. So I was like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I'll take, I'll get this.
Oh wow, he had been taking a beating for that shit.
Yeah, and then so she's taking care of her order, and so she gives the guy, the little guy, a tip saying, "Thank you for your great service. Since you're new, here's a tip. I hope you get trained by somebody that's not an asshole." And I was like, oh my God, what did I walk into?
Right.
I was like, what did I just make worse?
Right.
And I was talking to the guy. I was like, I'm so sorry that I did that, and he was like, here's your change. I was like, man, I feel bad.
He didn't want to talk to you. Huh?
Yeah, I was like, I don't blame him. I just made a bad situation worse. for nothing. I mean, they were still only like 4 inches long, but that's nothing he can do about. That's nothing he can do about that.
Well,
not that Subway's healthy anyway.
Man, I honestly stopped going to Subway because I ain't gonna lie, I do go to Subway still, but I get mad at them every time. Like I get a sandwich from them. I say, "Hey man, just make this with the, don't put too much sauce on there." They just assassinate my sandwich with that shit, bro. I was like, bro. I said not too much. I said like a little bit. I couldn't even eat it.
Right.
I couldn't even eat it. I was really like, what am I supposed to do with this thing?
Have you ever put oregano on it? I tell you, if somebody accidentally put oregano on my sandwich, I do it every time now.
Oh wow! No, I've never tried that one. Matter of fact, I stopped eating Subway probably a year or two ago.
Well, Australia actually, I don't know if they sued them or not, but they essentially deemed them not bread. That their bread is not bread; it's actually like cake because it's got so much sugar in it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for real. It actually made me want to go.
I gotta bell off of here because I gotta put the something in my GPS, and I can't do both.
I just got something here for you, real quick, Joe.
All right. Let me go ahead. Zooming up.
Who wanted to know about this one? Freedom isn't free. He wanted to ask you your opinion about this sign here. If you can read that, decenter yourself and come in to listen, to learn, mourn, and witness. Remember, you are here to support, not to be supported. Be mindful of whether your volume, pace, and movements are supporting or undermining your efforts to decenter yourself. Seek, contribute to the energy of the space rather than drain it. Bringing your own processing to other white folks, so that you are not to harm. BLPOC, Black people of color. Consider if you want or need to take photos and post them. Do not take photos of other people without the consent. If you witness white folks doing problematic things, speak up with compassion to take the burden off Black folks and our siblings of color whenever appropriate. Seek to engage rather than escalate, so that it can be a learning moment rather than a disruption. This is for all people, or all white people in particular, is what they're saying. This is at a George Floyd memorial. And I want to know your opinion on that.
I would like to, I heard that as well. I would like to know you guys before I give mine. I don't want to, I don't know, poison y'all.
I mean, I think it's unnecessary instructions, in my opinion, because again, in the free world, who am I to tell somebody how to react? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my thought. I can't tell you how to think, how to behave. That's not my duty.
I would agree with that. It was done very tactless. It was not done smart and all of that shit. However, let me ask you this: if you take out the fact that it was done at a George Floyd gathering, blah blah blah, just the document itself, what do you think of it? To hear that some motherfucker was putting that out to other white motherfuckers, what do you think about it if you take away from the George Floyd part? It's just white motherfuckers talking to white motherfuckers. If it's possible, because that's some shit we went over a little while ago. If you take out where it was, because it was done bad and caused this shit, unless his intention was to cause shit. But the document itself, we wanted to go in about that shit. It sounded to me that some white dude was trying to tell other white motherfuckers, be mindful, center yourself, make sure that your anger doesn't, fuck up your goal, and your emotion doesn't fuck up your goal, which is to be peaceful and treat these brothers well. It sounded like he was going down that route to me.
I mean, if that's what it was. Either way it goes, in my opinion, I still think it's unnecessary. I mean, it's not wrong, in my opinion. It's just unnecessary.
I think it's necessary because white motherfuckers don't hear black people when we tell them they fucking up. they through the gate. They think our opinions is less and shit like that. The same way police do. Uh, but if other white motherfuckers say something, their voice carries more weight. Even if it's just the average white motherfucker, his voice will carry more weight than mine. And this is even more important. In a room full of all white people, some motherfuckers feel like they can get loose and say words they wouldn't say if a brother was in the room. So if these white people remember this type of shit, maybe they'll correct them. Oh, that's my. So I was getting a text. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. What do you have to say,
I
guys?
just don't know. I don't know if that's just I don't know if that's conducive to a society that can get along with each other. In the sense of like, certainly just the words themselves, aside from being racist on the face, it's also kind of patronizing in that, like, even the second one there, it's like your volume, your pace, movements. It's essentially saying, I'm like an apex predator. If you make one wrong move, I'm gonna jump. So it's the person who wrote this, whether they be whatever color they are, they're telling a lot about themselves
I agree
through their words. And I don't think this is like everybody, of course. Like, certainly, you can't know who agrees with this and who doesn't, because there's no polling. So like, we'll only put this on the person who wrote it. But yeah, it's kind of like saying, it would be like saying, please stay quiet in the library.
Yeah.
But in not so many words.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, if you're at a memorial service, yes, please stay quiet. I think it could have probably been worded like more. Yeah, I think we could all agree it could have been more tactfully done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. He might have been an idiot with good intentions.
Yeah, we're trying not to be not to hit the wrong.
Right.
Because like, you're right though. It is very likely that this was written by a white person, because like a lot of the problems that we have today are because of white, like racist white people towards white people, like like racist towards white people, or just generally racist. Because if you're guilty of your own race, it almost seems like that is just another thing of racism. Because like my dad, unfortunately, he's very left.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard him say things like, "Oh, those poor black people, they can't get up in life because they're being so held back." And I'm just like, Dad, do you not see how racist that sounds? You're saying that like, because of the color of their skin, they're somehow being held back. Like, it's like anybody who like makes sacrifice of their own life, their own time, and work towards a goal and become sober and be successful, they can do it. Like I think, what's her name, Judge Judy is a perfect example of that, where she was asked, do you consider yourself a feminist? And she was like, no, I don't think anything I got was because of me being a woman. And if I did, I was too stupid to realize it, and I'm like, that is a perfect response. It's like, now if you did get help, I mean, obviously I've had a lot of help getting where, the very rock bottom I'm at still, because I don't. Well, you have to take responsibility. I've got too many addictions.
Hold on, before you move on,
yeah,
I want to say I disagree with everything that came out of your mouth. I think your father sounds like a genius with that black people, catching hell, man, poor black motherfuckers. I think he's a genius. He needs to spread the word. Because in reality, it is not equal. Yes, bad shit happens to black, bad shit happens to white. But black motherfuckers 10 times more likely to get pulled over, 10 times less likely to get a fucking loan, 10 times more likely to fuck their kids to die, blah, 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 10 times more likely to go to jail. Black motherfuckers getting beat to fucking death.
Yeah.
So maybe your old man didn't say it with the greatest couth or tact, as we used earlier, but I think he was on the money, bro.
Well, is there an argument to be made of personal accountability though? Because
no, that's a given. That's a given, right? I mean, even in a fucked up neighborhood, some niggas get out. You get a black billionaire every now and then. Niggas make it out the hood every now and then.
Right.
But I don't think that was your man's point. He knows that
Right.
fucking Oprah's a billionaire. Michael Jordan's a billionaire. He knows that. He's talking about in general, black people get kicked around.
Right. Well, yeah, it's in the sense of like, why are poor neighborhoods dirty and shabby looking while nice neighborhoods are really good looking and stuff like that? And it has a lot to do with like pride and ownership. A lot of those neighborhoods people rent, and I've rented. I don't care about the place. You know, it's like it's hard to pinpoint all these problems because like I just recently learned that like incest is a big problem in like a lot of my family apparently. And I didn't know that. Like my uncles were apparently like drilling holes in the walls to try and peep in my mother and her sister and showering, shit like that. So like,
right,
we're talking about deep problems that happen that nobody ever hears about. Like incestual rape happens so very often in those areas that are poor, white, black, Asian. It doesn't matter. Like bad behavior.
Yeah.
It's the example was used like this, right? I'm a smoker, but I don't smoke around my kids. Therefore, my kids won't be grow up around cigarettes, but they're still being raised by a smoker.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's like untreated trauma is a main factor. Is a main factor. Yeah.
Let me give you a example of what I think you just did, and let's say, and I'll give you an extreme one to start off.
Sure.
Because you're a reasonable dude. Maybe you're not going to jump down my throat because there would be many holes in this, but you'll get what I'm saying. Let's say Hitler is gassing the Jews.
Right.
Now, the people in the community, they don't actually see the Jews going in the oven, but they got an idea. They see them getting pushed out of their homes and put on trains and shit.
Right.
Some Jew comes up and said, they're killing us, man, at an enormous rate. And then some motherfucker like you must come along and say, hey, man, everybody's got it hard. Niggas dying everywhere. What purpose does that serve, bruh?
Yeah, you're right. I wonder. I don't know if they fit entirely. I don't know.
But I know I went way overboard, but I was just trying to get that point across, right?
I do see the connection in that I am in the sense of instead of like looking at it with a microglass, whatever. I'm just going, everybody's got problems. Kind of
yes, and you're right in your assertions, which is why they'd be hard to overcome. However, that's the same problem we got with the Black Lives Matter. We keep saying that blacks are being killed by cops at a huge rate, and then someone comes up and says, well, people dying, white people die too. Cops kill white people too. It's not a fucking counterpoint to the argument.
Well, that's the same sort of problem, though, in that why are these people getting shot by the police at such a high rate?
That I agree with.
In that, like,
yes,
let's say we'll take a black boy and a white boy. They were both molested as children. What are their outcomes going to be? Right? It's very difficult for somebody from what I can tell, it's very difficult for somebody who's been through that, because I've never been, to treat that trauma, like in that you could actually wind up inadvertently causing that kind of trauma on someone else if you don't treat it.
Yes, you almost would, because you're poor and you won't be getting any fucking help and mental this and that.
Nobody cares about you. All you know is pain and suffering. So it's like, for me, actually, this is a really good example in that I used to think like this, in that I've had a pretty easy life as a gay person, and I hate to bring it up, but I've had a pretty easy life. I've never been like bullied, like to the point where, oh my God,
right?
I was bullied.
Well, they're not bullying you now for wearing eye makeup and making fucking copper wire. You're fine. Ain't nobody.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Any kind of bullying I got it was healthy dose. It's fine. In fact, I wish I kind of had more if they were being really honest. At any,
baby.
Or at least less help with it. At any rate, so I used to think every time I saw a gay person getting hurt, every time I watched a movie about gay trauma, gay problems, gay this, it always affected me personally, like it was happening to me.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
A very unreasonable way to react to something.
It's still a good thing.
In that at least trying to put myself in
I
their
mean,
shoes.
if you're empathetic, right? If you know,
Yeah,
if you're a step ahead of the guy
right.
who can feel other people. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, you're not a narcissist if you can feel other people's pain. He got that. I might be a narcissist. Look on his face.
Struggling. No, in that it's. I remember that influencing my politics on like gay rights and this and that. In that, I felt like that should be a more punishment because if it was a gay person involved, So
Yes.
it was in that sense that every time something happened to a gay person, it was happening
Yes.
to me, and that's a very unhealthy way to think because you don't know the circumstance.
Wait. If you're feeling it, then that's bad because you got to leave your emotions out of
Oh yeah,
decisions. However, if it helps you figure shit out in your head better, I
right,
see they're abused like this. They do this to them. If it helps you do that, now if it
right,
helps you get emotional, you start saying that yes, we need to make special laws for the gays.
right,
Where
yeah.
now you might be going overboard. All right, I gotta tack in before this. Make sure I get here. The place is only like 5 minutes away from here. If you niggas is still on here, I'm gonna park in a lot and fire up. I just don't want to smoke weed in the fucking Taco Bell. But
No, you good. You good. You
I gotta
good.
smoke weed before I get in. I gotta hop off the GPS this motherfucker. Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Amen.
no problem, bro. Yeah, I appreciate how Joe makes a disagreement, right? Because again, like Joe doesn't, be like, "Fuck you, my dude." Fuck, and sometimes Joe will say, "Fuck you," right? That's good. That's good. Sometimes you can do that, right? It's all right. But Joe has a way of feeling like, you know what? I'm gonna say this respectfully, but with all due respect, go fuck yourself. And you would just sit there and listen to him, and he's like, "All right, you made a point. That makes sense. That makes fucking sense. Okay, all right. I understand."
That's healthy. I certainly I like a good bit of pushback, in that being told I'm wrong because it helps everybody.
Yeah, and Priceless, if you're wondering where the super chat is, I personally removed the super chat because, as I say in my streams, I usually try and give everybody equal amounts of attention, as much as possible. Right? Depends on how fast the chat's going through. But with the super chats, I realized, you know what? I don't really need the money. I got a 9-to-5. I work, got a pretty decent job. I make pretty decent money. If anything, you can please donate to thorn.org. That means a lot more to me than anything. Which again, as I said, I'd rather you donate to somebody who needs it. I think last time we said, if you got any donations that you want to give to me, SAE Ecstasy Prez, his wife was in a motorcycle accident. If she's still needing the money, if she's still needing funds, go donate to them, right? That seems more beneficial to me. So that's the reason why I don't really accept any cash, or super chats. But yeah, man, I think today's been very eventful, very very good, very good discussion today. We've been on for about 2 hours, 17 minutes. I got about another 13 minutes I can stay on. So is there anything you want to go over?
If we want, we can promote some channels.
Sure. Who do you want to promote?
I have been watching a really interesting channel lately called Think Before You Sleep. And he has a very good way of, well, his whole goal is to help, it's the MGTOW movement, right? Where it's like he's trying to break the stigma that that women are the gentler sex, that they can do no wrong, that they're not a danger to anybody, and sort of points out those sort of traumas and identifies women that are dangerous to men. And I bring it up because this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, is that he has a very good way of identifying things like women who have like a high-pitched voice are typically victims of sexual abuse as a child because their voice doesn't develop in the sense of confidence and things like that, and that their voice actually gradually increases in tempo, or deepens as they treat their trauma. actual signs you could see to identify people who are abusive or identify people who have been abused. And abusive people have typically been abused in the past if they're not just straight up evil, you know, in that sense. But the reason I bring up the channel is because it is also very self-help in that he points out, like, why are you poor? Why are you still where you are? Why are you not, you know, why are you not where you want to be? I'll tell you why. Because you're addicted to drugs, because you're making bad decisions, because you're bad with your money. You know, it's like you're the reason you're not where you want to be. You know, and every time I see a video of his, I'm like, God damn it, he's talking about me. It's like, fuck, I don't like it. I don't like it. You know, so it's like that's a really cool channel to check out for anybody, women included. It's important to know, you know, as much as you can know about things. And it is not all women, obviously. It's just, you know, how to identify the ones that are going to screw up your life.
Awesome. So I did include them into the chat there, guys. So I just sent out Think Before You Sleep, Priceless channel, because he did give me a shout out. I do appreciate that. You know, and Freedom Isn't Free. You know, definitely, because you guys have been very helpful in getting this to where it is today. Okay, and whether if you think it's something small that you did or if you think it's something big that you did, I like to show my appreciation to you guys. As y'all know, I'm probably going to actually end it soon, actually, a little bit sooner. But definitely, guys, thank you so much for coming out today. If you guys would like to show you some support, let me go ahead and pull this up.
Our Yarborough. No, it is nothing. It's not against women. It's like a guidebook for men to identify women who are dangerous. That's about right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So here is thorn.org, everybody. This is one of the main things that I've always put up. I've managed to raise, I think, probably like $350 bucks off of YouTube for this site. You know, I'm not sure how much we raise on YouTube because I don't have the notifications for it on YouTube. However, if you want, go to donate, you know, give monthly, give once. You can donate now, 50, 100, custom amount, $12 if you wanted to, $1. Doesn't matter. You know, it will show a lot of support for me if you are wanting to go in there and give up some, you know, donations for thorn.org. If you guys want to know about thorn.org, this was actually created by Ashton Kutcher. That's right. To defend children from sexual abuse. Okay. It helps with finding trafficked children. You know, it's a very good site, very good cause. They've actually done some work. So definitely, if you guys want to go ahead and show your support, go to the donate. You know, give once, give monthly. It's up to you. Leave a payment. If there's an option to do anything on there, you can customize your donation. Company match, leave a comment. You can tell them, hey, D-Tag sent me if you want. So that's the way if you want to show support for me, guys. That's one thing I find that's really important. I find it very helpful if you guys really want to go ahead and do something, you know, for me or anybody. That's one way to do it. Again, thorn.org. And guys, did you have anything you want to promote other than the channel?
First, sorry for missing all the comments. I guess I should have been paying attention to them and responding, but I didn't want to interrupt anything.
Oh, you're good.
Second, Oh, if anyone wants to have a custom knife made, G-Tag, yeah, G-Tag makes custom knives. No, Brian King makes custom knives, and you could really use the commission. So go if you're looking for that sort of thing. Also, thank you, G-Tag, for having me and having this stream.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime, definitely. I enjoy these conversations like always. So guys, if you ever want to be on this channel, please come on here. Don't be afraid to express your opinion. As I said, this is a place where you can go ahead and express your concerns, your agreements, your disagreements, anything. I'm always willing to listen to you. We're always willing to have a nice conversation. But thank you guys again for joining. Love, peace, chicken grease. Thank you very much for joining the stream. Y'all have a good one.